Welcome to the LWTV network here on YouTube. I'm Jake Farr, and it's the start of the winter season here at Lincoln Way West. So let's take a look at our past media day for all our winter sports.
All right. Well, welcome to annual media day, preseason conference meeting. We're going to talk a little bit. We're first going to start off with Coach White. Why don't you give us a little recap of last year's season to this year's season and what you're looking forward to?
So last year we finished 14-14. Kind of two separate seasons in there. Kind of got off to a slow start. We had a lot of young kids. And the thing I'm probably most proud of, we finished, I think it was 12-5 to end the year. Majority of those kids are back heading into this year. So we are very excited as we head into this year. We finished the year, we lost to HF, who was the #1 seed in our sectional. Had them on the ropes. They ended up making it to the super sectionals, and I think we gave them their best game on that, their road to that. So we feel like if we could start the year where we ended the year, we feel pretty good about things starting the year.
I would say that historically we've had a very strong girls basketball program here. A few years ago, downstate, runner-up. You've been the head coach since the school has opened up. You've gone through some ups and downs, majority ups. What do you feel that this team compares to any of your past teams that you have currently?
I'm hoping and I think they are going to be one of the better teams. That's kind of the feeling we have coming in. Even though we are still young, this is Caroline's 4th year on the varsity, Molly's 3rd year on the varsity. So we have some experienced players who have been very successful. And generally, when we've kind of had that, we've had really good years. So we are hoping that even though we are still a little young, everybody has that experience going into this year, and comparable, I think they're in the upper tier of teams we've had here at West.
With that said,
Coach Miller, as assistant coach, maybe you have a little different perspective and or outlook on this season. I guess the question I have for you initially is, with the youth, with the players that are new to the varsity team this year, at this point, what are some positives you've seen, and then maybe even offer what you need from them in development-wise going through a varsity year?
Well, the thing about the youth is that there is a certain point in the progression where that stops being, I guess, an excuse. And I think the growth you want to see is you want to see them stop being the young kid playing varsity and start turning into a varsity basketball player. And to kind of parrot some of what Coach White said, we're excited about where we finished last year, and we have seen signs in summer league and in early practice of that transition. And I think that's what's going to carry us into being in kind of some of the upper tiers of, like Mike asked about, compared to some of the teams of the past. And that transition from just being on varsity to being a varsity basketball player is what I think is going to get us kind of into that crust. You asked a question about what you're looking for. You're looking for taking leadership. Coach and I can say something 400 times and it doesn't carry an ounce of the weight as if one of them says it one time. And stepping into that constructive leadership role is something that I think takes teams to levels that the coaches just cannot do. And hopefully that experience gets us there.
I look across the board here, and I know Coach White and his philosophy, and he does a great job with allowing multi-sport athletes to play and be a part. And it says something because I see Caroline and Aaron, who are both volleyball players, which historically we don't get, which you would think you'd get too many crossover for volleyball, but we do. And we got Molly, who's also softball. Ryan, why don't you talk to us a little bit about who you got up here and why you have them up here, and along with how you transitioned to allow them to play different sports?
Well, to my left is, Caroline and Aaron, and they are, you just mentioned they are volleyball kids. They are our two seniors, 4 years in the program, high quality kids, as well as good players. And then down at the end is Molly, who has been up since a freshman. She's a junior now. Just talking about that experience, it feels like she's been around forever, and she has been a leader since she's been a freshman. High quality play for us, and all of them are good. I don't even know if basketball is their main sport. I know Molly is going to Valparaiso for softball, Caroline's going to Drake for volleyball, and Quigley, she is, I don't know where she ranks her sports and all that, but she had a heck of a volleyball season. So as far as us, the multiple sport athletes, it's one of the regrets I had as a high school player not doing multiple sports, wishing I had. So I've kind of made a goal of mine that to allow the kids to do as many sports as they can, be as flexible as I can to make it work for them, because at the end of the day, we need these kind of players for our program to be successful. So I think it's just for the greater good of the school, and I think everyone benefits from it.
So you let into it. All right. In high school, if you could do it all over again, so all of your athletes can hear this, multi-sport. I knew you grew up just loving basketball, playing basketball, and you said you regretted not being able to do other sports. If you could tell us, what sport would you have wanted to do, or what other sports would you have wanted to play while you were in high school?
I mean, honestly, I did everything up to high school. Baseball, soccer, basketball. I would have probably loved to do football, but that was a parental decision, I guess, more so than that. But coming into high school, there was a chance I was going to do baseball. I mean, it was a last-minute decision, and our basketball season ended. I was talking to the baseball coach, and then at that time, travel basketball was kind of taking off, and I ended up doing the travel basketball scene, I guess you could say. So I think I would have done baseball all the way through. I think it's the same season as before. No, I could have done boys soccer too. So I did all those up to, so I probably would have, if I could do it over again, I'd probably do all three. But
So for all of your athletes that are here and listening, do you really think, your time is short as high school, would you agree, play everything that you can and do everything you can?
Absolutely. You only get to do it once. I put all my, into basketball, and not that it's a full regret. I'm happy with how that played out, but if I could do it over again, being able to do all those things, definitely is something I would do.
Sticking with the multi-sport category that we're in now, Molly, doing softball, doing basketball, and we'll move down the board here. Obviously playing two different sports there, is there characteristics or thoughts? Obviously you have the mental and the physical in both those sports that, softball, what helps you in softball or what helps you in basketball, and then how one can either help the other. Are there certain aspects that kind of blend together in your development and your leadership skills?
Yeah, I feel like playing both sports give me leadership skills. Naturally, I'm just more of a leader, towards both sports, and it helps me physically for being ready, and for both sports, mostly basketball, being in shape, and then going right to softball. It just helps me be in shape more too.
Really?
Basketball for me is definitely a lot more physical than volleyball, but it has helped me become more physically and mentally stronger in whichever sport I've played. And then they're just both different conditioning for sure, but jumping and all that, it correlates between both of them.
I think doing a bunch of sports helps because obviously there's a different aspect to every sport. So then once you do more sports, then you get all those different mental and physical like capacities and stuff. And I think it just helps you like be a better person.
Back to Molly, like going into this year, obviously you have a new team, you have new players with you on the varsity level. Any advice, just going through your process, and Carolyn, going through your process through the softball program, going through the basketball program, any advice you could give young players, young basketball players that could help them in their development and really what to focus on to help them be successful?
I feel like just giving your all like in whatever you're doing will definitely like help you stand out and make you like more of a leader and like stand out to coaches too, and like always just like playing as hard as you can and giving 110%.
I'd say just trusting each other and being comfortable around each other, which like creates a good like team unity, and then that will lead onto the court too.
I'd say don't focus on the losses, like try to live in the moment. I know it hurts, like obviously after it happens, but like move on and like learn from that to like do that.
Aaron, when did you transition wholly to basketball this fall and winter? You know what I mean? Like, is there like a hard day when like, is your last volleyball game the first day you're all in on basketball, or?
I try to incorporate basketball during the volleyball season, like just to keep up on my skills and stuff. But yeah, after volleyball, I like really went hardcore to basketball and like focused on it.
So when you do that, do you feel like you're playing catch up with the other girls, or you feel like you're ready to go?
I feel like there's definitely moments where I am playing catch up because I have to like, there's more endurance and all of that, and it is more physical. But also I feel like I am prepared because with all the other like parts of volleyball, it does help me like jumping. Like I still have that. So.
And then Carolyn, same kind of question, but do you feel like not so much the physical, but like mentally, is there a switch you turn when you're done with volleyball for the season, or is it kind of like I know I've got basketball coming up, I need to get in the gym a little bit for that as well? How does that go?
During volleyball season, I was focusing a lot on the end of the season and trying to make it as far as I can there. And I would like go for a run every now and then and try to like build up my endurance for looking forward to basketball season. But after volleyball ended, I just kind of have to like flip my mind to like, okay, now it's basketball season, and like to lock in.
Molly, what position do you play in softball?
Third base.
Third base, and then basketball?
Shooting guard.
Shooting guard. Okay. With third base, you got reaction time is imperative.
Yes.
Does that translate to basketball? Or?
I mean, not really. Like, I don't feel like it like really helps in basketball that much, but there's other aspects. Like basketball definitely like conditions me and gets me ready for softball because it's like way slower pace. Softball is, but like not reaction time doesn't really help me for basketball.
No, Coach, I have a question about. Well, Caroline, you could answer it too. Did you sign this fall?
Yeah, I signed the other day,
This week?
but our like school signing is next week.
Okay, so you formally already signed, and then because this is the early signing period, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And you're a junior, so you're only verbally committed at this
Yes.
point? Okay. I'm good.
And for all of you, I'll start with Molly. What is your favorite memory or tournament?
My favorite
From
memory
last year?
is winning. Oh, from last year?
Or just at all?
Well, for my freshman year, we won regionals, and that was like super exciting. Last year, we were like really close to it. Like I thought that was a great game. Like we could have pulled out that win, but it was still like a great game and great fight. So I'd probably say regionals, freshman year.
Ever or just last year?
Whichever. And I guess ever and last year. How about both?
Fair enough. I mean, it'd be hard for me not to talk about here. The run to state. A few years ago. That's that's special, and there's people who never get to experience. The good and great players and coaches who never get to experience that. So it's hard for me not to say that. Last year, there was a point where Coach mentioned it was kind of a tale of two seasons. There was a point in the second half where I realized that we had kind of made a turn for the better, and you saw the growth from some of the young kids that I talked about earlier. So, like, to me, that was kind of the most special part of last year.
It'd be tough to top the 2020 state season. Just that whole season was phenomenal. The run kind of topped it off. You know, Coach kind of mentioned, you know, when you start coaching, you're like, man, I don't know if we'll ever get to experience that. And as you're going through, you start to get a little nervous, like, all right, this is our shot. Like, let's hope we get through it. And we, was, in the super sectional game, it was kind of like all right, we got there, and then the rest is kind of gravy and all that. But as far as last year, just how we finished, even though we lost that last game, I was super proud of how the team played and competed. For a team that had running clocked us, you know, probably about 3 weeks before that, to come back and to have them on the ropes, you know, in the last minute, even though it was a loss, it felt like, hey, we just competed with one of the top teams and was happy with that.
My favorite memory has probably been winning regionals. I remember it was a close game, like Molly said. And also during like Christmas time, we always have some fun practices, and those just like lift the spirits, and they're always so fun.
I'd have to agree that practices are really fun during Christmas time. But then also I think my favorite memory was probably the regional game. Now it was so close and like we lost, but they worked and we did good, so I was happy about it.
Yeah, you know, basketball, all winter sports is really long, and it can become monotonous, there's no doubt. So it's good to see that you have some fun and do some of those things. You know, this next question I'm going to have to go to, this is going to go directly to Brian Miller. Okay. So, you know, we've all seen Coach White at his highs and his lows. And, you know, as a great assistant coach, how do you rein him in? And what do you notice right away when you have to rein him in? I know what I see, but I was wondering what you see.
I mean, you probably asked the wrong guy that question, because I try not to rein it in. Maybe to the detriment. Listen, why bottle passion? Do you know what I mean? So few people get to do this. Play, coach. Why bottle it up? This is fun. You only get to do this for so long. Let it rip. You know, now, yeah, you don't want it to impact the game or anything like that, but listen, this matters. They're laying it on the line out there. You know, they're getting after it and hurting and celebrating and winning and losing, and it's awesome. Why not embrace that?
Absolutely, I agree. I like it. Molly, would you agree to that too? Yeah. Do you like when Coach White? What's one thing? Mannerism that he does that you know, okay, he's ready now.
I feel like he like squats down a lot, like when he's a little angry.
Okay, I agree. I've seen the squat down. Caroline, what do you think? I mean, you've been around 4 years with him.
I'd say before bus rides and whenever we all get together to talk, he like rubs his head. Maybe like this, he's like always knows what to say.
Erin, how about you?
I say when he turns around, he's a little mad.
Okay, you're definitely onto something. He turns around. He usually walks down the bench, correct? And you know, I can't believe it hasn't been said, but I can attest. My daughter knows. I think it's the foot stomp. That one usually is the one where we kind of get to know Coach White is not happy about something on the floor, but all good. He usually reins it in, which is fun to see. You know, with that said, do you have any other questions?
I've got one, Coach. I think you said next week, first game.
Yeah,
Are you guys ready?
I think so.
And is there a sense of nerves more than other games for the first game? I only ask because you might not know exactly what they're going to do in those situations with the new program, the new team each year.
The nerves are because you go in. Coach and I were just talking about this morning. Like, I kind of feel we're at a certain point, and you want that feeling to be happen. And it's one of those things. If it doesn't go that way, start to get a little nervous of like, all right, what do we need to tweak here or there. So it's just more so, I feel pretty good about things, and you just want to end that Monday night feeling the same way and be like, all right, kind of what I was thinking is kind of progressing in that way. And so it's more nerves of that, and you just don't want to be wrong in that situation.
This is, well, it's more an individual question, but I do want to start with Coach White. Let's say I never watched the girls' basketball game, and I showed up. What would I see? Like, what is your foundation? If I'm there to watch a basketball game, what are you stressing? What is the most important aspects of what it takes, in your theory, what it takes to win? If I were to come and watch this game, what am I going to see?
You know, for girls basketball, I think those that don't watch it a lot, they would, and they come for the first time, I think they'll realize, number one, it's more physical than you might be thinking. We play at a fast pace. I think you would see, like, wow, these girls are more athletic than maybe one would think that doesn't watch them, but the way they get up and down the floor, they jump, all that stuff. And then, you know, we have some basketball players who can put the ball in the basket, like the scoring. We've always been kind of a high-paced team, you know. I think, you know, when I was growing up, girls basketball felt like it would be, you go to a game, it's 32 to 28 and all that. It's not like that anymore. They get up and down the floor. You know, I'm trying to think of our offense. We give them some freedom to play basketball, to shoot some shots that maybe might not see all the time, but I want them to be the players that they are, and I try to not, you know, rein them in and just let them play to a point. You know, that's, you know, we always say okay shots, good shots, great shots. You know, when we're settling for the okay shots that we can get at any point in the possession, it's not usually a good thing. When we are giving up an okay shot for a good shot, it's when we're a good team. When we are giving up a good shot for a great shot, it's when we're really good. But just as far as the girls' basketball game, they're more athletic than you might think. They score more than you think. It can be very entertaining, I think.
And then players, individually, I'm going to kind of ask a question. You got to talk about yourself a little bit. What do you think your role is, or what are the most positive parts of your game? Like if I was to watch you play, what are some things that you do well, that you feel well, and what you can offer this team? Erin?
I feel like I can bring a lot of positivity and then like quickness to the court because I do like 3 other sports, so then I can like bring that in and like use the agility and all of that on the court to like be a quicker player.
This is hard.
Like what do you do well? When you go out there, you know, I'm looking to score, I'm looking to play good defense, you know, rebound. What am I trying to do?
Definitely rebound and try to set up my teammates for success. And just try my hardest every game and see how the outcome is.
I'm gonna answer for her because Caroline is one of the few players who can impact a game in so many ways without scoring. She'll be our all-time leading shot blocker. She's had multiple game scoring points. She's had multiple double-digit rebounds. So she doesn't have to score points, and she can be a great impact. And as athletic as she is, she's our best defender who can guard anyone on the floor when needed. So she's just one of those stat stuffers that at the end of the game, oh wow, 17 points, 10 rebounds, 4 blocks, and a couple assists in there, and 2 steals, and it's like, oh, great.
Yeah. Miles?
I think I'm very communicative. Being very communicative on the court and like helping like my players out. Like if they're like in the wrong spot, I'll help them like go the right spot. And like I look to score, but like sometimes if there's a better option, like I'll pass there. And I feel like I'm always hustling.
All right. So, ladies, you've got a lot of young players beneath you. You've got a lot of experience, right? They're sitting back there. Tell us what you want them to, what you're hoping to get out of your younger athletes that are on the team. Like what you really want to push and that they know, like, hey, this year, this is what I want to see. I've learned from this in the past, or, you know, future players have taught us. What do you want them to get from you this year? Molly, we'll start with
I
you.
think like picking each other up is definitely one of the most important ones. Like if someone's struggling, like help, like cheer them on, like make sure like they know it's like okay to make a mistake, and like always like hustling. Like I said it before, like I feel like hustling is like the main part of basketball. Like if you're jogging down the court, like it's gonna hurt your team. So I feel like if like everyone can hustle and like help each other, then it'll be a good program.
Kind of going off what Molly said, just like it's a great program, so you want to like put in the time and like whatever you put in, you'll get out of it. So just keep trying your hardest and know that you have your teammates too.
I just want to see everybody have fun and like enjoy this season, and, like get to know everybody and be a team player to help everybody out.
Awesome. All right, last question. Okay. I know Coach White's doesn't know what's going to happen, but this one's good. All right, so when you get ready for a game, you know, historically a lot of people will have their headsets on, Beats or whatever, AirPods. What do you listen to and what gets you pumped up for your game? And we're going to go all the way down, and then we'll end up with the coaches because they're going to have to tell us as well what they do.
Like what artists I listen to?
Absolutely. What type of what song are you going to listen to?
I listen to Drake a lot.
Listen to Drake a lot?
Yeah.
Okay.
Really, like upbeat, gets me going.
Gets you going? Any particular song from Drake or?
Freshman year, I listened to, I think it was Spin By You before every single game, like on the bus or just before. I don't know what it was about that song, but
Get you going, huh?
last year I didn't really listen to anything specific, but.
All right. Caroline?
Music-wise, like kind of what Molly said again, Drake or like rap music or anything hype that'll like get me awake and like ready to go. But a lot of the times I like won't listen to music and I'll just focus on like breathing and like controlling my breath. Sometimes I struggle with that.
Huh?
I'd also say rap or anything upbeat because it just like gets you hyped before a game.
All right. So, Mr. Miller, Coach Miller, what would be one of your hype songs that you would listen to when you were a kid?
When I was a kid.
Yes.
Coach, that was a long time ago.
I
Were you more a lot of
grunge? Were you?
No, a lot of Dr. Dre and a lot of Tupac.
Oh wow! All right, a little Dre, Tupac. Okay. Coach White. So when you were in high school, you know, back in the days when we only had one Lincoln Way and you would have to get hyped up, what were some of the songs that you would listen to?
Well,
'Cause I know
Best
them.
answer. You know, I honestly am not really that into music. We didn't have the convenience back then of, you know, the AirPods here. It was a Walkman connected to a headphones, which I don't think I ever had. So I never was much of a hype music person. But I know you have an answer that you.
Oh, no,
Isn't it true it was Mariah Carey?
I
can name a couple.
One time.
You know, it's funny you mentioned that. That's the Christmas song he plays.
Over and over.
I think, I don't know if I listened, I feel like I did probably have a crush on her maybe at some point.
Oh, all right.
I mean, the song was Someday when it came.
Yeah. You
That was a
know,
good, she was looking good.
yeah, that was 30 years ago, Mariah Carey, or maybe even longer, I don't even know, but probably around there. But yeah, her music was okay, not much for the hype.
What about now? No hype song now?
No, I'm not.
Whatever the ladies want, right?
You know, before the game, I drive the bus and focus on getting that bus ready, warmed up, so that they come in at 70-degree temperature and they're ready to go.
Awesome. All right, ladies and coaches, we look forward to senior season. I think historically we are really rich in tradition and have been successful. Like Coach White said, it is really fun to watch all of you play. You play with a style that I'd say is aggressive. He allows you to play free. We look forward to that. You know, it's different because now we're always the team that we're being hunted as opposed to the hunter because of who we are and what we are, and that says a lot to you. You're young and talented and rich in history, so we're going to be excited for this season. With that said, congratulations, and I think you guys get to go right to practice. You get to skip all these extra pictures and right to
They
practice.
can do pictures if they want.
All right. Good job, guys.